I've known Steve for
about 16, 17 years.
How did me and Steve become friends? I met him in a pub in Bermondsey. I said to him, if you go and do an abseiling course, I will give you a job. And 2 weeks later he came back and said, I've done my course, so I want my job. And that is how we met.
It's good. It's good. He knows what he's doing. We turn up to the job, he sorts everything out, and then we just get on with the work. Abseiling as a job is it's exciting.
Like, you get people looking out the windows at you, waving at you, you know. Sometimes you see a couple of things you shouldn't see when people are not knowing you're going to be there, but yeah, it's quite a cool job, I love it, yeah.
It is a thrill. It is. It's still a thrill every time you do it.
Like a barrel of laughs, and we got a lot of jobs done, and we got a lot of respect in the industry for what we've done. The reason me and Steve started a company together was because we was working for another company.
We could see that the amount of money we're making for other people, and we're the ones taking all the chances, so why shouldn't we have a piece ourselves?
Out of the blue, we just decided, right, we're going to start our own company up. We've had 2 or 3, and the last one we've had for 5 years now, which has taken right off.
The job we do ain't that dangerous if you do it right. I think everyone thinks at the back of their mind that something could happen at any time.
You don't ever think anything would happen to me? No, not in a million years.
In my whole abseiling career, I never thought this would happen to me, especially I never thought it would have happened to my dad. I've been abseiling in London for about 7 years now. Ever since I was young, I remember my dad abseiling, I always wanted to do it. Then one day when I was 18, he put me on my course and we always went through it together. I loved working with my dad, there was never no conflicts. It used to be the dream thing, going in with your parent on the job that you love doing. And it was probably the best times of my life, and I loved it every day of it.
I've been with Steve for about 15, 16 years. I met him through my friend Lisa. She said that Steve wanted to take me out on a date. So I said, yeah, okay then. Then we went out on a date. We went somewhere, I think we went to Chelsea, took to a really nice hotel and restaurant and that. And yeah, we've been with each other ever since. I've never questioned his safety at work, because I think he's been doing the job for so long and he's very confident at doing the job. I just never thought about anything. I just think sometimes you don't think it's going to happen to you, do you? So.
It was just like any other day. We went to the job. We've done this job so many times before, it was like second nature. It was an early starting job, and we usually do a job afterwards so we can get a bit of extra cash. Then we went up, standard as we do, we had a little coffee, a chit chat, chucked the ropes over, and we buddy checked each other, everything was good. My dad always used to look out for me, so I always used to make sure, like, oh pal, have you done this right, have you done that right? So I was still only level 1 at the time. So then we've chucked it over, got over, it was just like a normal standard day. You'd never think the inevitable was going to happen. And we've come over the edge, just cleaning the windows. We was talking as we was getting over the edge about what we're doing later this afternoon. Then all of a sudden I just hear a scream, and that was it. It was bang.
So I'd come over an edge that was sharp, and where I was going from side to side, it just cut completely straight through the rope.
I was just in such shock on the rope, so I had to look straight forward. I couldn't even look down, and I could hear my dad just a scream before. It was horrible. It still turns my stomach now thinking about it.
It was a weird feeling actually falling. You feel like you're floating in air. And then, I don't really think I thought about dying, to be fair. You just don't know what's happening, and next thing you know, you're unconscious.
I think he was doing the first two, Harry was doing those. And as he swung round to get the side bit, the ropes cut on the sharp edge at the top. That was it. So the first rope cut, and then they both cut at the same time. There's that, he landed on the floor, on the back of a truck that was delivering, on the tailgate. Yeah, all the people in the shop come out.
Oh, it was horrible. And he was on the floor, and everyone, the commotion, the screaming, the panic, and I just couldn't hear nothing. It just felt like a beeping noise. I didn't know what to do, and people were shouting to call an ambulance, and I was just looking at my dad just on the floor, and it's like your hero, really, and you've seen him just crumple down in a matter of seconds. The ambulance has pulled up, and they're lifting him, and they're trying to cut his harness of him, and everyone's asking me questions, and I was just frozen, and I just didn't know what to say to anyone. And I rang my brother, I had to tell him. My brother's in tears on the phone. No one believed me when I was saying it.
I was getting my kids ready for school, and Steve's brother Jason called me to say that Steve had an accident at work. And I was just like, oh, okay then. Because I didn't realise how serious it was until Jason went, no, he's actually in the hospital and it's really serious. So my oldest daughter Holly took the kids to school, and I went straight to the hospital.
My uncle come and picked me up, and he had to take me to the hospital. And just seeing my dad there, and he was getting in and out of surgeries. I probably saw him for about 2 minutes, and the whole night I was just sat in a waiting room, just in shock all night with my uncle. Just, we didn't know what to say to each other. We didn't know if he was going to live, whether he was going to die, what the outcome was going to be.
I was in a coma. Originally I was supposed to be in there for 2 weeks. They tried to bring me out after 2 weeks, but I refused to wake up, so they left me in there for another week. So altogether, I was in a coma for 3 weeks.
When I first got to the hospital, we couldn't really see him because they was just talking and telling us how bad it was, so I didn't see him at first. They was just talking about what had happened in that, and then I think I see him the next day, and that's when he was in his coma. When I first see him, it was just I was shocked. I think I was quite numb and quite shocked at how severe the accident was.
I knew when all the machines and that were around me and everyone was crying, and you sort of think like something serious is happening there, you know? After my accident, I went down for elbow surgery, and somehow they ruptured an artery in my arm or something, but didn't realise. So when I come out of surgery, all my arm was wrapped up, just my hand sticking out. And my brother said, because he's a policeman, he said he's got no blood supply in his arm. They said, yeah, he has. He said, no, I'm telling you now, he's got no blood supply. And they still left it for 12 hours before they found out that actually my arm didn't have no blood supply. Then I went back into surgery and they just had to take all the muscle out of my arm. Do I believe I walk again? 1000%. If you didn't, there's no point in carrying on, is there, you know?
Tall on that right one. Good. Tall on the left. Good.
Witnessing the accident was probably the worst things that's ever happened in my life. I wish I never had to see it. It's changed my life dramatically, and it still makes me sick to this day just thinking about it.
I think I told the kids once Steve got a little bit better after a couple of weeks. I don't think I told the kids when it was really bad. Like, it was, you know, like how bad it was going to be. But I do remember telling them he was in hospital. And they said he'd had an accident. And the kids reacted. They was really sad, very sad. The accident hasn't affected my relationship with Steve, really, no.
I think they was all shocked. I think really they just rallied round me, was positive, and you could do this and you could do that, and just trying to push me on, you know.
I don't think I've ever got over my dad's fall. It's, even when I get on the ropes now, it's still in the back of my mind at all times. When I see him, I just feel so upset. Then the way the state he is now, sometimes I just miss my dad and how he was, and sometimes I wish he never had to go through that. And I think mentally and traumatically it's affected me so much, especially in the weeks after. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't go to work, I had to go through therapy. And I think it's made such an impact on my life, but it's made such more of an impact on his life. It guts me to this day that it had to be him.
Do I regret coming an abseiler? Probably not. I love the job. I regret it for how I've turned out now, but at the time, I loved doing it. It was a fantastic job.
Sometimes Steve comes around and helps me out when he cleans my windows, but he also does other little jobs if they need him doing, which is really nice of him.
I think for probably about 6 months the accident really put me off abseiling. But the problem with our industry is so niche, it's what do we go into after? And I really wanted to prove to my dad that I can get back up and I can really be the man that he was and an abseiler, and that's my dream, to be like how my dad was on the ropes, well known, professional in the industry, and hopefully one day with his guidance I can still be that man that he was.
What's up with your social life?
They have to get used to night work and height work.
You do get a bit nervous at first, but you soon get over that, week or two.
Hi everyone, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name's Stephen. I was just like you guys, going to work every day. I was an industrial abseiler, and the 17th of November 2017 I come over the edge of a building, my rope's cut, and I fell 6 floors to the floor. I spent a year and a half in hospital. I had 30 operations. I'm now wheelchair bound. You know, just take care, be careful out there, read your RAMs, do everything you're supposed to do properly, don't take any unnecessary risks, because I'd like you all to go home at the end of the day. Thank you very much for listening. Hope to see you soon.